Quantum physics has a theory called the many worlds interpretation. In 1957, a physicist named Hugh Everett claimed that every possible outcome of any event exists in its own separate and very real universe. So, for example, if you decide whether to take a job or not, there could be a universe where you took the job and another universe where you didn't. And there are two different versions of you, each living in a parallel realities in two parallel universes, one that it took the job and one that didn't. And this quantum physicist, many quantum physicists think that there's just infinite versions of you. And it sounds kind of crazy, but quantum physicists were able to prove it using a series of experiments. And they showed that particles, like, so some of them were subatomic, they were neutrons and protons, some of them were entire atoms, and some of them were molecules made up of many atoms. They could actually exist in two places at the same time. And as soon as the scientists observed the particle, they either used a measuring device, they either shined a light on it, they tried to photograph it. The particle, instead of existing in two places at the same time, it would, as soon as someone noticed it, it'd pick a spot and it would choose one. And that's called wave function collapse. Now, wave function collapse says that anytime your consciousness or you look at a particle like an atom, it stops being in many places at once, and it's going to make a choice. I'm going to choose this. I'm going to be here in this universe, in this reality. Now, before you looked at it, it was everywhere all at once. So here's the big leap from science to spirituality, is that there are multiple versions of you, all living in parallel universes, playing out the various choices you could have made with your life. Remember Nicolas Cage in the movie Family Man? There's a version where he's a corporate shark on Wall Street. And there's this other version of him where he's a dad and a husband living in the suburbs. There are different versions of you, and you only know this version of you right here. Christians believe that God knows all possible outcomes of our choices. God sees all potential versions of your life. And Yogananda says that when you look at your life from God's perspective, all of these infinite versions of you exist at the same time. And when you realize your true self, you transcend all the versions of yourself, all these infinite possibilities of your life, and you become one with the way that God sees your life. And the way that God sees your life is that, sorry, hold on real quick. I'm just going to change my thing. The way that God sees your life is you are actually all the versions of yourself. You are the family man. You're also the corporate shark. You're the sick version of yourself. You're also the healthy version of yourself. You are the single version of yourself, the married version of yourself, the rich version of yourself, the poor. God sees that you are all the versions of yourself. You are everything all at once. So all you really have to do is choose which version of yourself do you want to be in this moment. Because every version of you exists right now. At any moment, you can choose a different version of yourself. And the idea is this, that instead of fixing who you are, which is like therapy, it's just going to take forever, just choose a different version of yourself.